So hello and welcome. I am so excited to have you here today. And you are going to have a treat because the person who is on the screen right now is none other than Rebecca Hulse. Welcome, Rebecca.
Hi, Erica. Hi, everyone.
Even when I read Rebecca's bio, I get turned on. And I'm fully hetero, so it's not that. It's
How did I get so lucky?
like there's just something about her energy and her joy that keeps Rebecca and I coming back and trying to bring more change to the world as a team. And so I'm just really blessed to have her here today. And we're going to talk about releasing judgment, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a heavy subject for one book and one chapter. Erica likes to ask the impossible of her authors, but luckily we're good at delivering the impossible.
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly. It's so interesting. First of all, just tell me real quick, where are you in the world?
I'm actually finally at home. I am in Christchurch, New Zealand. I think I have 5 more days here before I head off for Paris. So Erica just taught me the best time to have this little conversation with you. It's been wonderful.
And when I think of your dancer background and your chapter, The Joy of Changing Fixed Positions, I get these really interesting images of like, and, when I think about judgment and like how hard it is to change sometimes, or how locked into things we get, just tell me a little bit of what we can do, and then I'd love it if you'd share some of the body stuff with us too, because you've just really and you can't tell because Rebecca's quite young, and yet your dancer background gave you kind of an interesting perspective.
It did really. So, I mean, with any athlete and dancer, they have habits that are a fixed position. And so with those, if they're a damaging habit, like say your knees are out of alignment, or your feet don't do exactly what you're told to, or you put your head forwards too much, they create a damaging fixed position that doesn't only affect their career and the way that their body moves, but it also affects their life. And so if you apply that to judgment and have your judgment, which is your fixed position, and your point of view creates your reality doesn't create your point of view. So if you have this judgment that's this fixed position, which is creating your reality, which is creating your life, how much choice do you get to run your life the way you want to? Or do your limitations and your judgments and those blocked energies that you don't even really know what they are, they get to run the show. And that doesn't really seem like a wonderful way to live your life, especially when it could be different. So for me and this book, and there's some of my wonderful friends are in this book as well, which is exciting. Like, it's so great when you have wonderful friends that you get to peek into their chapters when you read the preview and go, oh, that's awesome, and this is amazing. I want to read this book. Oh, wait, Rebecca, you're supposed to be editing your chapter. It's very easy to get distracted in there. Be prepared, take a cup of tea. And so with this book, basically what we're all trying to do is create a place where releasing judgment and choosing is possible for you. I know choice seems like this elusive thing that you hear a lot of us talk about, and oh, you need to choose something different. And yet there's this massive gap often between where you are and where you have the ability to choose. So hopefully this book is gonna close that gap a little bit for you.
I'm curious. I don't know why, but maybe it's because you're wearing green. And I started thinking about money, and I love thinking about money, and I used to hate thinking about money. And I know that you do some work in Joy of Business. And so I was hoping maybe you could just give us a little bit of a snapshot of judgment, money, Joy of Business, and kind of what you've seen as far as the carrot, like when you do release judgment, or when you are able to stop. And I was just talking to someone else about being pathetic with money. Maybe that's what led to this. And pathetic, not meaning I'm pathetic, but meaning I've chosen pathetic choices around money, and I don't anymore. But tell me a little bit, play with it in that sense of the joy of business stuff that you do so well.
I mean, Erica, you are the perfect example. Like when I met you, the kind of conversations we had of like, I'm a single mother. I'm not sure where we're gonna live. I don't know how I'm gonna get this publishing company off the ground. To,
Oh my gosh.
oh, I've paid all my invoices. Everyone has paid me. My money situation is so much ease and like almost like a non-issue anymore. Like money's there, I receive it. I dispense it, I receive it, and it's just this ease and this flow. It's wonderful to see. And one of the things that comes from is that joy and judgment are mutually exclusive. You cannot have joy and judgment at the same time. Like you think of when you laugh. Like can you ever truly be in judgment when you're laughing? You're caught. Like it is like something that just disperses.
True.
And so this is really what the joy of business or the joy of money is about, is having that sense of joy, that enthusiasm for your life, for the way you want to live it, the gratitude you have for what is in it, whether you have $10 in your account or you have $10,000 in your account. It doesn't matter as long as you don't have a point of view about it.
And I think right from that, I want to take that, just you're at this edge of this point that I love, which is if you're interested in having it go from $10 to $10,000, then one of the interesting things is not to see the $10 as this drama, and not to see the $10,000 as drama, and to see this just flowing of being yourself, providing contributions, saying, where can I be a contribution? And then using your contributions, and then the money comes. And when Rebecca describes the ease, I'm just stunned at the way, I mean, certainly the period of time I've known you has just been like an amazing transformation, hasn't it? I mean, for both of us.
Absolutely.
And I remember sitting on that call with Lisa. We were both just like, oh my gosh, this is a couple summers ago.
This is a couple of years ago. One of our friends, Dr. Lisa Cooney, who is also an author of Erica's that she's discovered, it does this wonderful work with money and abuse. And I was working for her at the time, and that means you get to take advantage of these wonderful things that all these facilities around the world do and ask them questions. And it was definitely an in-depth conversation. And it also actually reminds me of a conversation I once had with a wonderful friend and mentor of mine, Sean Sargent. And what he said to me was, money should be part of the furniture. Like, you don't think about, oh, should I use this chair now? Or maybe I should save it for later. Or like, oh, what if I wear it out? Or, oh, what if I don't get another chair? Like, you don't think about that about chairs. You just, oh, I want to sit down. I'll sit in this chair. Oh, I need money for this. Here's the money for this. Like, it creates this just like ease of like, money does desire to be used, and it desires to be played with. I mean, one of the conversations that we have had a lot is, I mean, does money want to come to your party? Wow. If I was inviting Erica to a party and I was like, hey, I have this thing going on. It's for my birthday. I think it'll be okay. A few people are going to be there, and yeah, I don't think I'm going to get any food or alcohol though. It will just kind of be us, and if you could be bothered, I would like it.
I'm busy for the next 7 weeks, but thanks for the invitation.
But if you go, hey, Erica, my birthday is coming up, and I'm gonna have like this exciting party, and there's gonna be champagne and food, and I don't know where in the world it's gonna be yet. But if you could come, I would love it. Seriously, which party is Erica gonna want to come to?
You know, I love that, because I think sometimes it's so funny when we get stuck in our judgments. It's the antithesis of joy. It's the, I can't change this. And the question we ask ourselves, and, you know, I'm just as guilty as everyone else, as much as I've gone through, why can't I change this? Why is this? And money's like for me is easier now, but there's other parts of like self-judgment. Like how do I, wear certain clothes, or why can't I change this? Well, the minute I'm thinking, why can't I change this? What am I doing?
You can't change it. And I mean, you get so serious, and you also get so freaking boring. Like, this is something that I was reading with Elizabeth Gilbert and her book, Big Magic, which I am such a fan of. And I
Uh-huh.
was reading it while I was writing my chapter. So there's a little bit of inspiration from her in there.
Oh,
And
nice.
she was talking about how as a kid she thought her fear and her limitations were the most interesting thing about her. And she would fight to keep them. She'd be like, no, I am really afraid, or I do really have this limitation. And she got to her teenage years, and she realized she was fighting with her parents, which is what you often do as a teenager.
Yeah.
And she was fighting to say that she was more pathetic than her parents said. And she looked at this and she's like, is this really what I want to fight for? The most boring part of myself that absolutely every other person in the universe has. My fear, my limitations, my judgment.
Wow.
This is what I want to defend about myself. And when you defend your limitations, you get to keep them. You're not going to take that away from you. And this is something I did say in the chapter is like, please, by all means, if you know someone that is fighting for their limitations, they have spent time, energy, and money, and countless of thoughts and stories to themselves about creating these limitations, please do not do them the disservice of letting those go.
I love that. That was actually one of my favorite pieces in the entire book, because I think so many of us coming to this work and coming to a lot of the readers of the book are actually coaches and teachers and counselors and practitioners and consciousness, enthusiasts. And so a lot of the people who will be reading the book and taking and learning from it get kind of missionized.
Yes.
Like, I want to change the world. I want to bring happiness to the world. And one of my favorite things someone said to me once, well, what if that person wants to be unhappy? And I was like, because I'm teaching happiness, right? And I'm like,
Who wants to be unhappy? I don't get this.
Yeah. And then I went, what if I could be an allowance of that? Like, what if I could say, okay, well, there is a way to shift everything, but if you're not interested in it, I give you permission. And one other download, I have to share this with you. This is such a fascinating download, so I'll share this with you. I was talking to somebody who wanted to be super wealthy again, and she'd come from wealth and lost everything. And we sat there, and I felt the wealth in her. I could feel it. Like, I could feel her wealth. And she was reminding me of all the times she lost money. And I got the full on, every time she repeated the crap, she was reinforcing it.
Right.
And it was like, and then the whole thing of elegance came in.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked her, I said, well, what about silver spoons or something, because being psychic, right? And then she brought out this silver spoon set that had been hiding in the bottom of a drawer. And it was a fabulous silver spoon set, worth more than like her whole rest of her house. And I went, so you've got this, but you're thinking of that. And that's exactly what you're just saying. It's like, if you want to keep saying your limitations over and over again, that has a lot of power. That's fascinating. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I mean, this isn't to mean that you shouldn't go out and change the world or create a difference or create happiness. Like, this is not this is not about that. What it is about, though, is looking at what people can actually hear. You actually do people more of a disservice if you fight to empower someone that doesn't wish to be empowered. The best thing you can do for those kinds of people is have no point of view about it. Like, see it, acknowledge it. You do know what's happening. Okay, this person loves being broke. They have so much to talk about when they're broke. They love it. They love the challenge. They love having to create every single little piece of money that they need. They like to overcome the challenges. They like to go, look, I made it, and I struggled, and I made it really hard, and I really proved myself here. That is something that is actually what they desire. So that isn't to mean that you don't acknowledge it. You go, okay, cool, that's what this person is doing. Now what do I get to choose?
Yeah. Yeah, I love
And
it. What else? If you could just share with our audience kind of like a closing thought, and then I do want you to let us know how to find you and where we can find you on the internet. And if you just kind of like have one more thought, what else would you like to share with people? It could be a tool or an idea or just kind of what shows up for you that if they could just leave this conversation with, it would be just kind of awesome.
Yeah, well, one of the things that I'd love to leave you with is, what if for at least 10 minutes a day, you could release the judgment of you? What if for 10 minutes you actually went, okay, no, I don't get to judge myself for this 10 minutes. I get to be with myself and actually enjoy the hell out of it. Like, you are the only person that does not ever get to leave you. So you may as well enjoy your time with you. So if I could leave you with that, with anything, with the power of releasing judgment, why not enjoy 10 minutes of you today?
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. And just let us know your website, at least one, how we can find you.
Yeah, so if you're in Europe in the next few months, you could probably catch me there. That's apparently where I'm going to be for most of the time. Then I'd love to meet you live. If you've read any of Erica's books that she's published or any of mine, I want to meet you. So if you do find me around the world, let me know. Don't be shy. And otherwise, let's meet online. I have a website, RebeccaHulse.com, or you can find me on Facebook. That seems to be the most consistent place to see the upcoming inspirations, ideas, creations, things of the moment, awarenesses and tools that I am up to and into and all that. And otherwise, maybe there'll be another interview like this with Erica. You never know what the future is going to hold.
See you on TV.
That sounds wonderful to me.
Mwah.
Mwah. Thank you, Erica, and thanks everyone for watching.